We have been studying the applications of microbiology in different fields with specific examples. So, last time we have studied the role of microorganisms, its benefit in the field of agriculture in terms of biofertilizer, biopesticides, or biological control. Another area of microbiology in which we'll be studying the applications of microorganisms or what are the practical implications of microbiology. So, in this lecture, we'll be studying about normal flora of human body and the role of normal flora, beneficial role of normal flora for humans, as well as the role of probiotics and its relation to human health. So, this topic, after learning this topic, you'll be able to understand what is the significance of normal flora, why it is essential, and what are probiotic microorganisms and why they are essential for healthy human life. So let us start with normal flora of human body. All the animals, including humans, are generally free of microorganisms before birth. That means the body is almost sterile. But after birth, under normal conditions, the microbial population begins to develop in the various parts of our body. That means the microorganisms get entry in our in our body and they establish their population. The newborn first contact with microorganisms that are present in the birth canal. Usually, these bacteria are lactobacilli, and these bacteria become predominant organisms in newborn's intestine. So, this is the beginning of built up of microbial population in human body, that is through intestinal population. Thereafter, many microorganisms get introduced into the newborn's body from various from various transmission routes from the outside environment, that is while breathing, while feeding, etc. Escherichia coli and other bacteria from food enter in the digestive tract and begin to populate in a large intestine. So we can see here that the bacteria which are majoritarily inhabiting intestine are lactic acid bacteria, E. coli, and other related food-borne microorganisms. So these microorganisms remain in our body throughout our life and their number increase or decrease, and it may contribute to the development of diseases. Just to have an idea about how many microorganisms are normally present in human body at different locations, approximately 10 raised to 14 or more than that bacterial cells are present in a healthy human body. Many of these are present permanently, whereas few of them are variable. So the microbes which are present permanently. They do not produce any disease under normal environmental conditions. That means they are harmless. So, these microorganisms which are present in our body without causing any disease or infection, these microbes normally present at various locations of our body are called as normal flora of human body. Flora means microbial population. So these microbes are present in most of many of the parts, but not in all the parts of our body. This means that there are few parts of our body which are free or which has to be free from microorganisms, and few locations in our body has to be populated with microorganisms in order to get their beneficial effect. So, microbes are not present in all the body parts, but they are present in certain regions only. We'll see what are these different parts of our body which are always populated with microorganisms. The physico-chemical environment present in our body parts affects the population of these microbes. That means we know that different environmental conditions or physico-chemical conditions are present in different body parts. So according to the chemical composition and physico-chemical environment of that particular body region or body part, it selects the growth of particular type of microorganisms. Say for example, the chewing actions of teeth in our oral cavity and tongue movements. These actions we call them as flushing action through saliva. It can remove the microorganisms attached to tooth and mucosal surfaces in mouth. So this flushing action, this washing action and presence of antimicrobial substances in saliva are responsible for the restriction of microbial population in oral cavity. So this is an example how physico-chemical environment is responsible for controlling the population of microorganisms. Of course, microorganisms are always there in our oral cavity. In gastrointestinal tract, various digestive secretions. This is the another example in which the physico-chemical environment is in case of digestive tract is digestive secretions. So these digestive secretions, say for example, stomach has the acidity, that is the pH of the stomach juice is less than 2. So therefore microbes will not populate in stomach, whereas in intestine the environment is quite favorable. Microbes may get nutrients there and the pH is slightly alkaline. So in this area microorganisms may grow. Then the urinary system, the flushing action of urine, almost it is responsible for the removal of microorganisms from getting established in urinary tract. Then in respiratory tract, as we have seen in case of first line of defensive mechanisms, that mucus ciliated cells, these are responsible for the removal of most of the microbial population. Still, some of these microorganisms may remain inside these different body parts. They are called as normal flora microorganisms. So you can see the table in which different microorganisms are listed. Skin, the normal flora microbes are Propionibacterium, Staphylococcus, Corynebacterium, Micrococcus, Acinetobacter, Brevibacterium, Candida. So you need not to remember all these names, but few of them, of course, you need to remember. So from this table, you will understand that what are the regions of our body which are always populated with microorganisms, and the microbial flora or the type of microorganism differs from region to region. Different types of microorganisms may be present on skin, and different types of microorganisms are present in eyes, upper respiratory tract, that is nose and throat. This means that lower respiratory tract, lungs, alveoli are always free from microorganisms. Oral cavity, that is mouth, intestine, large intestine is heavily populated with microorganisms. Genitourinary tract, so in genitourinary tract, it involves kidney, ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra. So the genitourinary tract, like kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, all are free from microorganisms except the presence of few microorganisms in urethra. If the microbes grow in urethra, it leads to the infection, which is called as urinary tract infection. Normal flora plays a very important role in human body. This means that normal flora is beneficial. So there is a research with germ-free animals. Germ-free animals means the animals which were never exposed to external environmental conditions, or they are cultivated in dust-free environment, so that these animals are grown in such a way that no microbes shall enter in any of the part of this animal. So germ-free animals. So this study has shown that microbes are essential for human life. That means normal flora is essential for the healthy life of animals. It has been seen that these germ-free animals have underdeveloped immune system. That means the resistance power is decreased, and usually susceptible to infection and various serious diseases. These germ-free animals also require more calories, nutrition, vitamins, growth factors than other normal animals. Thus, normal flora microbes have beneficial role in human body. So this study shows that definitely normal flora or the presence of microorganisms in our body is highly essential. The normal flora microbes can benefit the host, means human body, by several mechanisms. So, what are these several mechanisms? The first one is preventing the overgrowth of harmful microorganisms in our body parts. This is called as antagonism. So, antagonism means whatever the normal flora organisms which are present in our body, these normal flora organisms, they produce antibiotics, and these antibiotics are responsible for the killing of harmful microorganisms. So that is called as antagonism. Another mechanism by which normal flora microorganisms prevents the outgrowth of harmful microorganisms is competition. So competition involves competition for nutrients and competition for space. Also, they does not allow these harmful microorganisms to colonize in that particular region. That is the meaning of competition. That means microorganisms, which are the parts of normal flora, they prevent the attachment of harmful microorganisms to our body tissues. These normal flora organisms compete with those harmful microorganisms for nutrients and space. If nutrient and space is not available, if binding is not there, then these harmful microorganisms may not be able to produce disease. This is how normal flora microbes prevent the outgrowth of harmful microorganisms by antagonism and competition. Say, for example, in large intestine, we have Escherichia coli. So, Escherichia coli is an example of normal flora of intestine. So, these E. coli are beneficial for our body. How? These E. coli, they produce bacteriocins. Bacteriocins are the antibacterial substances. So, this involves antagonism. These bacteriocins inhibit the growth of pathogenic bacteria. For example, the causative agent of typhoid, Salmonella, the causative agent of dysentery, Shigella dysentery. This is how normal flora E. coli, it prevents the growth of pathogens through antagonism. Another example is a pathogen of our intestine, that is Clostridium difficile. Clostridium difficile is a pathogen which may be present in large intestine. So the growth of this organism is inhibited by normal flora microorganisms, possibly by the mechanism of competition, as well as the production of bacteriocins. But if the normal flora microorganisms are not present there, so in case if they are eliminated by some mechanism, then this Clostridium difficile will grow inside the intestine and it will be responsible for gastrointestinal tract infections such as diarrhea and fetal colitis, that is inflammation of colon. Colon means intestine. New microbial flora, normal flora microbes produce beneficial compounds. So that is another benefit. So they are responsible for production of vitamins. For example, Escherichia coli in our intestine, they synthesize vitamin K and vitamin B. Vitamin K is essential for the synthesis of clotting factors, and vitamin B is involved in active metabolic processes. These vitamins are absorbed into bloodstream and supplied to our body cells. Of course, we get these vitamins from food, but uh, if the consumption of these vitamin sources is less, then we have to depend on our normal flora organisms. These are the various sites in our body which are always populated with microorganisms, eyes, as it is exposed to external environmental conditions. Then oral cavity, mouth is a rich source of nutrients because we take food from this region. Then upper respiratory tract that involves nose and throat, it may contain microorganisms. Skin, large intestine, urinary and reproductive systems that involves only lower urethra in males and females. That means other parts of urinary and reproductive system like kidney, urinary bladder, ureter, all are free from microorganisms. So you need to remember all these possible sites where normal flora of microorganisms exist. After understanding the importance or the significance of normal flora in human body, the next part is probiotics.